maybe CSEC that.
But I do think it reflects, doesn't it, as well, what people have said, particularly in the interviews, isn't it, that Gail's led. I think I'm sure some of you will think, oh yes, I did say that, and yeah, that's how I feel. So.
Although you're not identified.
No, you're not identified. Yeah.
Can I just add that I was a part of the panel that appointed non-users in the face of quite strong competition, I have to say, and just to echo what Caroline's saying, that the purpose of evaluation is to help the development of this project for the benefit of the members, and to say at the end of it, have we achieved it? Yeah. So it's really going to be a very strong element of this particular project, and the more people contribute to that, the more we'll learn, basically, all of us about the process.
Caroline, you mentioned the study that you'd undertaken in respect of reflective clothing.
Yes.
And one of the points that you made is that you can't measure if the reflective clothing had reduced injury in children. Are you going to include anywhere in your measures of the effectiveness of CSEC whether this organisation, its operation, its links, its mandate has reduced injury to children in any way? And if so, how are you going to do it?
It's something that we discussed, isn't it, when we came to see you the very first time. And it's going to be very difficult, we decided, to actually do that. Because...
Is it therefore a given that if you give children the tools to avoid accident and injury, that it's a given that it will in fact avoid accident and injury?
It's not a given, you can't assume that, no.
But we will be seeking expert opinion.
Yes, but trying to show that it actually reduces injuries, it takes... I mean, like I said, we've done lots of research studies, and to be able to show that you've reduced injuries, you're going to need thousands and thousands of children, and to need to follow them up over a long period of time, or you need to have maybe A&E data that you've collected over a long period of time. And we can't say, I mean, for CSEC, say for this year, 2010-11, for instance, you'd be wanting to look at data sort of maybe 2 or 3 years afterwards, which we just cannot do that, unfortunately. So that's why we're interested in more things like, have we changed children's, not so much their knowledge, but their skills and their behaviour. That's what we're interested in. That's what we can measure. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I add, if you're doing studies locally where you're collecting injury data, which can be verified, then that's the sort of thing that the evaluation team would like to have access to. If you're doing something in a defined geographical area with reliable evidence of change, then that would be extremely helpful.
It would be extremely helpful.
Yeah, and if I may, this is a discussion we had with our grant funding right at the start. And the way we look at the work we do and the way that the coming business plan will be written uses a management by results approach. So we have inputs, which is me and the team and work which you put into the process. We can measure that. We can see what's gone in. We have outputs. These are some of the outcomes that are coming from the outputs that are coming from the partnership agreements. They're the physical things that you can see, a resource, a service. Then we have outcomes. That is the change that we're looking to see in the children's level of knowledge, skill, the way they perceive harm and danger, and their attitude towards it. And they're relatively short term, i.e. you can see that outcome after maybe 6 months, a year. The impact on that, which is the jargon that's often used, what's the impact of all this? To disaggregate it from all the good work that you're doing in your businesses outside of CSEC and the good work that others are doing, it's extremely difficult to say that it was specifically CSEC's work that led to that. What we would want to see from a national perspective is that collectively, that the work that the government is sponsoring and supporting, there is a trend which says the things it's been doing the trend is coming down, so there are less injuries. But to say it's CSEC or a particular piece of work that one of us has done in a partnership agreement, that's the key. I think it's really difficult.
I think the problem that CSEC faces in this respect is that government is putting up funds, and government is all about auditing and all about figures. And at some stage they're going to say in a few years' time, where are the figures, where are the trends? Is it worthwhile us sponsoring CSEC any further?
Yes, it is. I mean, we need to demonstrate, and I'm quite clear about this personally, that if we are not making the difference that we want to do, and that we want to do is you. You drive CSEC. It's your device to make things happen. Then we start doing it because it's public money, and that's a lost opportunity to spend somewhere else. You know, I'm very confident, having observed the changes that have taken place. The discussions that I've had with members around the United Kingdom, particularly in England, that our approach is something that is being welcomed. The notion that our focus is changing behaviour is seen as being something which is a useful perceptual change in the way we work with children. It accords extremely well with many of the things that are happening within DCSF, which is learning outside the classroom. And we've got a little bit of an input of this afternoon. And one of my colleagues on the table here from the Association for Physical Education, I think, would really support the notion that we work with children where they are doing the things that they do. And the more often that we can get them outside the safety of the classroom, the better. Is that about right?
That's about right.
Yeah. And we're working very closely with the Association for Physical Education to find ways in which we can add those tools into some of the things that the children are already doing.
Any more questions for Caroline? Thank you for raising that. It's really important point. I think another point that we can make is that wherever we can, and we've got evidence for effective practice from studies worldwide, for example, from the literature review, from the review that I did that underpins the resource profiler, we will share that evidence with you. So